Alaska, the last frontier, a land of rugged beauty, unforgiving terrain and untold mysteries. It's a place where nature reigns supreme, where wildlife roams free, and where legends are born. One such legend is that of the Yeti, also known as the abominable snowman, a creature said to inhabit the remote, snow-covered peaks of the Himalayas. But what if I told you that the Yeti isn't confined to the Himalayas? What if I told you that this elusive creature has also been sighted right here in the wilds of Alaska? For centuries, tales have been whispered around campfires and passed down through generations of native Alaskans. Stories of a massive, ape-like creature covered in hair roaming the wilderness. These stories, often dismissed as folklore or myth, have persisted, fueled by a growing number of eyewitness accounts from hikers, hunters, and even seasoned outdoorsmen. These are not tales told by the faint of heart. These are stories of close encounters with a creature that challenges our understanding of the natural world. Join me now as we delve into the heart of Alaska's Yeti mystery. We'll explore chilling eyewitness accounts, examine the evidence, and separate fact from fiction. We'll journey into the Alaskan wilderness, following in the footsteps of those who claim to have come face to face with the legend itself. Get ready, because this is no walk in the park. This is the Alaskan Yeti. Our first stop takes us deep into the Alaskan backcountry, where seasoned hunter Mike Evans had an encounter he'd never forget. It was the fall of 1998, and Evans was on a solo hunting trip in the remote Wrangell Mountains. The air was crisp, the leaves turning vibrant shades of gold and crimson as Evans stalked his prey through the dense undergrowth. The forest was alive with the sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of wildlife. As he rounded a bend in the trail, he came face to face with something he could never have imagined. Standing in the middle of the trail was a massive humanoid figure covered in dark hair. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before, a creature straight out of folklore. Evans froze, his heart pounding in his chest. He could feel the adrenaline surging through his veins, his mind racing to comprehend what he was seeing. The creature stood over 7 feet tall, its eyes fixed on Evans with an unnerving intensity. Those eyes seemed to pierce through him, as if the creature could see into his very soul. Evans, a seasoned hunter who knew the Alaskan wilderness like the back of his hand, was stunned. He had encountered bears, wolves, and other wild animals, but nothing like this. He'd never seen anything like it before. The sheer presence of the creature was overwhelming, and for a moment he felt completely powerless. The creature let out a series of guttural growls, the sound sending chills down Evans' spine. It was a sound that seemed to reverberate through the forest, a primal noise that spoke of ancient, untamed power. Evans, armed with his rifle, slowly raised his weapon, his finger hovering over the trigger. But something stopped him. It was as if an invisible force held him back, a deep-seated instinct warning him against taking the shot. Whether it was the sheer size and power of the creature or a primal fear he couldn't explain, Evans hesitated. He felt a strange connection to the creature, a sense of mutual respect and understanding. In that moment of indecision, the creature turned and vanished into the thick undergrowth, moving with a speed and grace that belied its massive size. Leaving Evans shaken and bewildered, he stood there for a long time, trying to process what had just happened, the encounter replaying in his mind over and over. Evans returned from his trip a changed man, his mind haunted by the image of the creature and the questions it raised. His story becoming a local legend among the hunting community. Hunters would gather around campfires, sharing tales of their own encounters and speculating about the mysterious creature that roamed the Alaskan wilderness. Our next encounter takes us to the towering peaks of Denali National Park, home to North America's highest mountain and a place of breathtaking beauty and raw wilderness. This vast expanse of untamed land is a haven for adventurers and nature enthusiasts alike. It was the summer of 1994, and a group of experienced hikers were making their way along the popular Savage River Trail. This trail, known for its stunning vistas and challenging terrain, attracts hikers from all over the world. The sun was shining, the air was filled with the sound of birdsong, and the hikers were enjoying the stunning views of the Alaskan wilderness. The landscape was a tapestry of vibrant greens and rugged mountains, a true testament to nature's grandeur. As they rounded a bend in the trail, they stumbled upon something that would stay with them forever. The air seemed to grow still, and an eerie silence fell over the group. There, in the middle of the trail, stood a massive, hairy creature. It was unlike anything they had ever seen before, a being that seemed to belong to the realm of myths and legends. The creature stood on two legs, its body covered in dark, shaggy hair. Its presence was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a living enigma in the heart of the wilderness. The hikers, all experienced outdoorsmen, were stunned. They had encountered bears and other wildlife before, but this was something entirely different. They estimated the creature to be at least 8 feet tall, with broad shoulders and long, powerful arms. Its sheer size and the way it moved suggested immense strength and agility. The Yeti turned its head towards the hikers, its eyes, described as dark and piercing, seeming to lock onto each of them. Those eyes held a depth of intelligence and a hint of something ancient and primal. Fear gripped the group as the creature let out a series of deep, guttural roars, the sound echoing through the valley. It was a sound that seemed to resonate with the very bones of the earth, a call from the wild. The hikers, frozen in place, watched in terror as the creature took a few steps towards them before turning and disappearing into the dense undergrowth. The forest seemed to swallow it whole, leaving behind only the memory of its presence. The encounter, which lasted only a few minutes, left the hikers shaken and bewildered. They stood in stunned silence, trying to process what they had just witnessed. Upon their return, they reported their sighting to park rangers, who found large, unidentified footprints in the area where the creature had been spotted. The footprints were unlike any known animal, adding to the mystery. The encounter made headlines in the local Alaskan newspapers, adding fuel to the fire of the Yeti legend. The story spread quickly, capturing the imagination of people far and wide, and sparking debates and discussions about the existence of such a creature. Denali National Park, with its rugged beauty and untamed wilderness, remains a place of wonder and mystery. For those hikers, the memory of that day is a reminder of the wild's untold secrets and the enduring allure of the unknown. Section 4. Professor Kary Mullis and the Hairy Hominid, an Unexpected Guest. Our journey takes an unexpected turn as we delve into the story of Nobel Prize-winning biochemist Kary Mullis and his chilling encounter with the unknown. Mullis, known for his groundbreaking work in biochemistry, was not a man easily swayed by the unexplained. His scientific mind always sought logical explanations, making his story all the more intriguing. It was the summer of 1993, and Mullis was enjoying a secluded getaway at his cabin in the remote woods of Northern California. This retreat was a place where he could escape the pressures of his scientific endeavors and immerse himself in the tranquility of nature. The air was filled with the sounds of nature as Mullis relaxed on his porch, a warm cup of coffee in hand. The chirping of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the distant call of a coyote created a symphony of natural sounds that soothed his mind. As he gazed out at the forest, something caught his eye. It was a movement, subtle yet distinct, that broke the harmony of the scene. Standing at the edge of the trees was a figure, tall and imposing, covered in hair. The figure's presence was both mesmerizing and unsettling, a stark contrast to the peaceful surroundings. Mullis, initially thinking it was a bear, grabbed his binoculars for a closer look. His curiosity was piqued, and he needed to confirm what he was seeing. What he saw sent chills down his spine. It wasn't a bear. The creature's form was distinctly humanoid, and its presence exuded an eerie sense of intelligence. It was a humanoid figure, at least 7 feet tall, its body covered in silvery grey hair. The hair glistened in the dappled sunlight, giving the creature an almost ethereal appearance. The creature stood motionless, its eyes, described by Mullis as large and luminous, seemingly fixed on him. Those eyes, glowing with an otherworldly light, seemed to peer into his very soul. Mullis, a man of science, was baffled. His rational mind struggled to make sense of the surreal encounter. He couldn't explain what he was seeing. The creature defied all known classifications, leaving him in a state of profound confusion. The creature remained at the edge of the woods for what seemed like an eternity before turning and disappearing into the undergrowth. Its departure was as silent and mysterious as its arrival, leaving Mullis with more questions than answers. Mullis, though shaken by the experience, never wavered in his account of what he had seen. He recounted the event with unwavering conviction, despite the skepticism he faced from others. He even wrote about the encounter in his autobiography, Dancing Naked in the Minefield, describing it as the most remarkable experience of his life. In his book, he detailed the event with the same precision and clarity that characterized his scientific work, leaving readers to ponder the mysteries that lie beyond the realm of conventional understanding. Section 5. The Alaskan Pipeline Workers' Terror, a series of sightings. Our next stop takes us to the vast and unforgiving landscape of the Alaskan North Slope, where the construction of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System in the 1970s brought a wave of chilling Yeti encounters. The pipeline, stretching over 800 miles from Prudhoe Bay to Valdez, cut through some of the most remote and inhospitable terrain on Earth. It was in this desolate landscape that pipeline workers began reporting a series of terrifying encounters with a creature that would become known as the Alaskan Bushman. One of the most well-documented encounters occurred in the winter of 1974 near the pipeline construction camp at Atigun Pass. A group of workers were returning to camp after a long shift when they spotted a massive hairy creature standing near the pipeline. The creature, estimated to be over 8 feet tall, was covered in thick dark hair and had long, powerful arms. The workers, terrified, watched as the creature let out a series of blood-curdling screams before disappearing into the darkness. If you enjoyed these chilling tales, don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible stories and footage.